Welcome to our monthly prayer meeting. I'm excited about what God's going to do this year. I think there's some awesome things coming, but I had something real quick I wanted to share. But God's really been doing some amazing things in my life lately. Come see what the Lord has done indeed. And during that process, though, I was dealing with some hurts and some pains and wounds that I believed I had dealt with and had taken care of and had kind of been healed of. But I think what I did was I had enough time and distance and grace to be able to just kind of push them down and not deal with them. And then, okay, God gave that grace and okay, we've made it to this point and now it's time. We're going to deal with this and go on. And I was responding as I did, and I was like, God, I want to respond however you want me to, and I see that you are good and you are God, but I also see that this is a direct result of how I reacted and responded to things when I was 4 or 5 years old. Things that happened to me when if I had killed somebody in response for doing it, nobody would have locked me up. Our man-made world would not have held me responsible. So, wait a minute, it doesn't seem fair that it's still affecting my life, that I'm still suffering the consequences. I'm still being held responsible for choices I made when I didn't have a clue what was going on. And the Lord just spoke to my heart and he said, who told you that? Who told you that? I know you're feeling it, but who told you that? Everything before this moment, everything that happened to that little boy, every bad choice, every time you looked up at the sky and shook your fist at me in anger and hurt, all of that is gone. It's under the blood of what Jesus did. Your past is gone. Behold, all things have been made new. You are not responsible for what you did when you were 4. You're not even responsible for what you did yesterday. Now that may not mean there's no consequences on this side of eternity, but Jesus was held responsible because you were his. What you're responsible for is what you do with what I'm giving you now. And to whom much has been given, much is required. And I wanted to share that, not because, hey, look what God has done for me, to me, I'm special. No, come look what God has done to me because he can do it for you. Because I don't believe I'm special. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not. And what he told me was not something, he didn't say you aren't responsible because you were really not. No. Without Jesus, I am responsible for every choice I made based on every choice I made before that. At some point, I'm responsible to deal with that stuff. But he took the responsibility, and that's just truth of Scripture. That's true for all of us. So no matter where you're at, as we look forward to the day ahead, the year ahead, the whatever's left of this life, whether it be a day or a decade or another 30, 40 years, whatever's left, if you belong to God, if you have put your trust in Jesus, you're not still being held responsible for your past that you can't seem to get away from. It's gone. You're only responsible for today. That's why Jesus was so often saying, now is the time. Today is the day. The Spirit says, come. Will you turn to the Father and come or not? That is the only choice. That is always the choice. It's not right or wrong. It's toward the Father or away from the Father. And if you turned away yesterday, it doesn't mean you can't turn to him today. No matter how many times you've turned away, no matter how many times you've started and failed, all that's behind you. Now is the time. You can turn to him and he will give you all sufficiency to walk with him and have life and freedom. So I wanted to share that real quick. And now we are going to pray.